Like polystyrene?
No, no, no.
Mrs. Morris.
It's fibre, but it isn't feathers. It looks like feathers, but I know it's not. So I remember.
Oh, it was all up our nose, wasn't it?
Yes, it was everywhere.
I'm not
Terrible.
Get what she did to me, and nor the other women. And there's a score that has to be settled. Of course, you could always report it, Mrs. Morris.
But you think what's at stake?
That's exactly what I'm doing. Grab that.
Tom.
Where would they get feather pillows in a prison, please?
As if. Oh, do you remember the shower scenes that we always had to do?
Vividly.
We had boob tubes on, so it made it look like we were naked behind those little doors.
Now, this is one of the fun things about being an actor, the things you get to do to other actors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get paid for it. Fortunately, Jane's a terrifically good sport. We had to do this in one take too, and you'll see why in a minute, because it's fairly messy.
Rape!
Yeah, and they had to heat up or warm the treacle so that it would run. Otherwise it just... Oh, that is real warm treacle all over her. And K-pop from the pillow.
How did they get it off her?
Oh, they just put her out of the shower, presumably.
Yeah, but it took her a long time.
And then
to
I
clean
ad-lib a naughty thing at the end, remember? But you're such a swift, smart, quick actor, you caught what I was doing. That's a marvellous thing about working with someone like you. Yes.
Did, yeah.
I bashed it out there. And this is the bit where I ad-lib and we're about to leave. I go, oh, hang on. Flush the lavatory. And the marvellous thing is you realise, of course, and you laughed, even though that wasn't actually in the script. And the director said, cut, what have you done? I said, you'll have to put the sound effect in later.
I am absolutely appalled at what has happened here this afternoon.
You know, we're awfully lucky at the calibre of the actors and the people in the show that working together. We were so lucky with the other people we had to work with. I mean, working with you is such a joy.
Well,
and it's
feelings mutual.
Having really other good actors to bounce
around
off.
you.
Yes.
It made us all look good.
It did, I think, because sometimes I think, and I don't mean this unkindly, but sometimes our job was to make shit shine.
Yeah.
Frankly, sorry writers, but sometimes we didn't make it shine, and that's when we were not doing our job perhaps. But yes, very often the writing, I think we were better than the writing sometimes.
Well, I must say, Grundy's did let us ad-lib a bit, didn't they? It's like if a script came through that you weren't happy with, you could rework it together. And often you and I would ad-lib a scene because it was much better than the scene that we were given to do that was actually written down.
Yes, but I got into trouble for that.
Did you?
Yes, I did, because the journalist was on the set when I actually did it, and I completely rewrote a scene. Basically, well, I reconstructed a scene and said, no, I can't say this and should, and I did it very quickly on my feet and changed it. And of course, he went and wrote an article about me doing it, and the writers were up in arms.
Oh, no.
And I was supposed to be carpeted by the producer, but the producer at the time said, no, I'm sorry, if that's what happened when the journalist was there, then that's what happened.
As long as you fitted it in to the 2 minutes 45 or 1 minute 60 that, most of these scenes are.
As long as what happened at the ends of the sentences, so that the boom operator knew when to move the microphone. That was important.
Yeah.
So your cues had to be similar. Do you remember our very first Christmas party?
Remind me.
Well, we had started shooting in October 1978, and the Christmas party was in December, where it was our breakup before we had 4 weeks holiday. We had already been contracted for another 6 months. We had a 16-week contract to start with, and they'd asked us to stay on, but none of us had actually ever seen any of it. And so we're all sort of, told, oh, good, Christmas breakup party. So we get to the offices in South Yarra and Claremont Street, I think it was South Yarra, the Grundy offices, and we marched in there, and there were cardboard boxes lined with paper towels with cubes of coon cheese and bread rolls and some biscuits and some flagons, no, casks, that's right, casks, cardboard
Cooler
handbags of wine, and that was it. And we sort of looked at this in absolute amazement.
You worked so hard.
Damn cheapskates. But turns out it wasn't Grundy's weren't going to give us any sort of break-up. It was the people in the office in Melbourne. And Grundy's had never done a production in Melbourne before Prisoner. It was the first one that was Melbourne-based. And so it was just the office guys that put it together for us. But the great magic thing about it is they showed us
some of the clips.
Some of the clips, and we were astounded. Yes, yeah. And so because we hadn't seen it put together before, and that was what was really interesting, and it was really mesmerising. Yes.
Grundy's gave us, as the show became more and more successful, they did turn it on then, didn't they?
Yes, big dinners at the Biltmore and all sorts of things, but we were making a lot of money for them too.
Yes. Now, this girl is like a carbon copy. It's Lisa Crittenden, but she's like a carbon copy of Colette in her voice and everything. So Colette's left the season.
Now, that had never occurred to me.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Her voice is just like it. Where is Colette now?
Well, Colette and Gerard Maguire both
They've
left
gone.
the show at the same time. Yes, they've gone. I think they actually went before we shot Kitty and the Bagman, because Gerard Maguire was in Kitty and the Bagman, the movie too.
Right.
And Liddy Clark.
Yeah, she went into politics, didn't she?
She did, yes, indeed she did.
The Labour Party up in Brisbane, she is.
And that was unusual in those days.
became a
All those
minister.
Melbourne people to be in a movie shot in Sydney. We were called the Melbourne Mafia. Doesn't happen much these days.
She is just not like Colette's character.
Yes, the phrasing's similar. Look at her, isn't she gorgeous?
Sheila in her hat.
Her best outfit.
Yeah.
Sign out and forget this whole business.
I doubt that.
Hardly an ideal experience for an officer.
Oh, I don't know.
I did a play some years later with Patsy King called Farewell Brisbane Ladies, which we took to Tasmania. And then we were supposed to do a season at the Universal, but Patsy got laryngitis. I think we got cancelled after about 2 shows.
Oh.
But yes, you might as well start on a normal shift.
I'll see you later.
How come the governor is taking her to an old people's home?
I'll give her something to do.
Get her out of the
Get
prison.
her out of the prison, yes.
Oh, it must have been frustrating. She was always in that office, wasn't she?
Exactly. There was not much scope for the character outside.
Look
The
at
prison
that for a
officer.
set. That old phone. Look, the old green phone. This is meant to be the mother of the hoi polloi girl, isn't it?
No, this is the mother of
Lisa Crittenden.
Lisa Crittenden's character, Maxine.
Oh, no wonder we haven't heard from you. Why are you in jail?
What you doing in jail?
Well, I just saved some stuff.
We haven't had a clue.
She's a motorcycle riding person, isn't she? Her
Yes.
character, yeah.
Obviously you have.
Oh, you make it sound like I murdered somebody.
It's just like
Doesn't she escape with
with one of us.
someone?
With Sheila, isn't it?
I think it might be Sheila, actually.
You and Dad had come and seen
Nah, I don't think so.
Yes, Ma. At the jail.
Oh, Maxine,
Well, I guess that's the sort of thing that really does happen to a lot of prisoners, that their family just don't want to know them anymore. So, and it's fairly hard to take.
I suppose I
But they don't take into consideration that they have
Father. I'll talk to
crossed the boundaries and upset society, and their families are part of society, and they're upset as well and don't want to know them.
Bye.
She ended up being an agent, Lisa Crittenden, didn't she?
I don't know,
I don't
did
think
she?
she's doing it anymore. Yes,
No, she
I'm
did,
pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
She had her own agency.
Well, what about Maura Fay?
Yes.
Fantastic, huge. She's still a big agency. And poor Maura's gone now, sadly, but she started off as an office girl,
Yeah.
Grundy's, yes.
Oh, she started off in wardrobe.
No, she started off in
did
the
a bit
office
of
in
wardrobe.
Melbourne.
She came into wardrobe for 5 minutes.
Oops.
Maybe. Certainly is a lovely place. Have you been here long?
Oh, look, I love this. They've both got the same shawls on, look. Everybody's crocheting.
I did, Mel. When was that?
August.
Oh, I must have come in July.
He's good, this bloke.
What do you do around here? I mean,
God, I wonder if they're still alive.
Don't.
Well, you know, we're telling you about all the young ones that have gone.
Short holidays.
Oh, where'd you
Mary.
go?
All sorts of places.
That's one of the odd things about seeing yourself so much younger on screen, but also knowing that, well, particularly with this release of the DVDs, going on, that how much longer, how many